Europe RMRB has officially finished, so today we've got every single team that's going to be attending the Shanghai Major. We're going to be breaking that down and much more, starting with obviously Europe RMRB. Now this is the most recent one to finish, and judging by the results, you would think 3D Max and Big are going to be moving on to the Legend stage, except they're not. We talked about this in the previous video. They're actually not guaranteed. 3D Max did make it there, but Big, unfortunately for them, are not. There are a couple interesting teams to note here. Obviously, Virtus Pro is back. There's no longer Outsiders, if that's something of interest to you, and the biggest one is going to be Passion UA. They are a brand new sticker inside of this area, and the only brand new sticker other than 3D Max inside of this for the Europe RMRB. Very interesting, very cool to see. Now talking about that Legends or Elimination stage, these are the 8 teams that are going to be moving on here. The only one that's going to be a brand new sticker is going to be 3D Max, but these are going to be the 8 teams in one specific capsule. And here are the 16 teams that are going to be in the opening stage. There's 4 brand new ones: Passion, Wildcard, FlyQuest, and Rare Atom. Now we don't know the specific divide of capsules just yet, but these 16 teams are going to be divided up into 2 different capsules, and those are going to be playing for the 8 spots to move on to the next stage in the major. SkinSwap just went ahead and dropped their biggest update ever. Not only are they sponsoring you with that top link in the description, but they're also introducing backpacks, allowing you to buy any item on the site and it's going to be personally held for you. Their trading feature is often told to be the best in the business, offering near instant trades taking under 30 seconds right now. And their selling feature is instant as well, offering PayPal, crypto, and tons of different options if you're looking to get your money this second. And finally, they've always got that 40% deposit bonus if you're looking to pick up some brand new skins, so try them out today. There's no reason not to. Now talking about the case market, which is my personal favorite area to talk about, we can definitely see it's on a rough trend when we look at the monthly unboxings, but it's actually the worst month in the history of the CSGO case tracker. Now this has been collecting data since the start of 2022, which means we have roughly about 3 years worth of data. Right now we are on track to be one of the worst ever. Absolutely insane, especially considering the Gallery case just came out last month. It's a purchasable case, but it is leading the case unboxing numbers when we're looking at the weeklies. Now it's definitely a very bad scenario when we talk about this data, but overall, talking about the rare case market, it's actually not terrible. Obviously, the majority of cases being unboxed right now are active duty or purchasable, but the rare cases really aren't in a terrible situation. Most of them, at best case scenario, are growing about 10 to 15%. Most of them, worst case scenario, roughly staying even. This is a really good variation, especially considering the interest is not in this area right now. I would definitely say if you're looking to get into a case investing, rare cases are going to be your #1 bread and butter. Right now, active duty cases might seem like a very appealing investment because they're on the upward trajectory, but these are extremely volatile, and overall, there's something that I would definitely not touch, especially when we want to look at the supply of these cases. It's actively growing, as you can see from these graphs in the background right here, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's actually something we need when we're talking about investments, and active duty cases dropping down in price. Usually a higher supply is going to lead to a lower price point over time, but talking about those rare cases, they're in a much better position because obviously the supply is on a downward trajectory. This is exactly what we're looking for inside this area because that's how we're able to maximize the profit, because this good, or this case we have, is theoretically running out of supply. Not going to be today, not going to be tomorrow, but it's going to be eventually, and that's going to help that price point creep up in price over time. Exactly what we're looking for inside this area, and exactly why we've been able to capitalize so profitably off the case market in the past, and will continue to do so in the future. Now talking about the Armory, we've got the graphic and the overpass sitting at the top with those unboxing ROIs of 152 and 147% respectively, with about a 20% chance to profit. But there's also another contender on the up and coming, that's the missing link charms. I would suggest actually shifting over towards this and potentially using your stars on this for a couple different reasons. First off, the fact is you're going to be able to get a lot less variation inside of this area. Obviously, you don't have the chance of hitting a red or a covert skin for a maximum amount of profit, but on average, you're getting an 84-cent item versus the other two where you're getting maybe a 40 or 50-cent item the majority of the time. Plus, it's also extremely important to realize the Armory moves in cycles, and right now the missing link charms are on the way up, and the overpass and the graphic are kind of on the way down a little bit, just because they've been at the highest ROI for a little bit. People have been redeeming their stars on those. We got to look at unlockable things, and I think the missing link charms are probably more on the way up than they are the way down. Now, talking about the capsule market, as I'm recording this, we have seen nothing for the Shanghai Major release just yet, so a lot of these capsules I've really not been seeing too much over the past month. The majority of them, other than Copenhagen, have really been seeing a pretty struggling piece of time. They really haven't been seeing any growth because there's no reason for them to see any growth. The majority of these, talking about Antwerp, Stockholm, Paris, really don't have much market share going on right now, and they have no reason as to why anyone would be applying them if they've got a cheaper sticker out there. Specifically for Antwerp and Stockholm, the majority of these stickers have cheaper alternatives. Talking about Copenhagen, obviously we talked about it in a previous video. It saw a pretty massive run up in price and unfortunately has nearly lost all of it. Talking about the application numbers for all of this area, it's really dire. The situation has not been improving at all. We know Paris has a massive supply, but Copenhagen, Stockholm, and Antwerp overall really have been seeing the application numbers that you'd want to see inside of this area to prove that something different's going on. It's really all going to come down to Shanghai. If we see bordered or borderless stickers here, that's going to determine the future of this area. Now talking about the major for Shanghai, theoretically if it was to release right now, what should you be doing? honestly, if you're going to go ahead and open up anything from Shanghai, you want to do it on day one. That's because most likely we're going to be seeing a squeeze once again. If you remember with the gallery case, how it was super expensive for that one day because no one was able to redeem it really early, very possible that it could happen here with Shanghai. I don't necessarily recommend you open up everything that comes with Shanghai, but if you're going to do it on day one, we might see this squeeze again, especially for some of these higher tier items like hollows and such that are going to be coming from it. This is not the case though when it comes for souvenir packages. I would highly suggest you avoid these at all costs. It's very possible that everything with Shanghai is going to come with a little bit of a squeeze just because of that 7-day trade hold from once you go ahead and redeem it, but I definitely think if you're going to do anything inside of this area, it's not to get into souvenir packages, and don't buy the capsules and just hold on to them. It's not my personal strategy, and I think you're carrying a lot of risk for very little reward. This also goes for something like a brand new team charms that come out. It's very possible we could see that for Shanghai here, so if you do and you really want to unbox it, do it on day one or wait till the sale. Those are your two options. Don't be doing it on day 2 or 3 or 4. You're going to be able to sell it for a fraction of what it's worth on day 1 if we see that squeeze at all, and you're going to be losing money. Now for me personally, without a doubt, the first thing I'm going to be buying is some of these Copenhagen Contender sticker capsules. In a previous video, I talked about how I had $15 set aside for Copenhagen investments, kind of forgot about it. I think I'm going to pick up some of these capsules here. I overall really like this capsule, being that it's got Lin Vision and Koi, two teams that are not going to be returning for Shanghai, and I think honestly it's a very strong possibility that this capsule is going to be receiving a lot of interest in the near future, especially with everything for Shanghai. I think it's a solid investment, especially based off these two stickers, and it's something that's lower risk at only 28 cents right now. Talking about those cheaper rare cases, we're also going to be picking up some snakebite cases. Now overall, there's a very strong demand inside of the case market. It's just not happening this second, and overall I think that's a perfect opportunity for us to capitalize off of it inside of this area. Snakebite case is one that's reached $1 previously during the hype, and right now it's only at about 26 cents. The supply on this thing is constantly going down, and the demand is definitely there long term for this case. It's got a massive supply. It's not going to be eliminated overnight, but overall this is a strong case I definitely believe in as a very long-term investment, which is perfect to balance out our portfolio. Now talking about my third investment, it's going to be the sticker capsule 2. Now if you're not familiar, this is a capsule that contains the crown foil, one of the most valuable CSGO stickers and one of the most let down CS2 stickers. I definitely think there's a strong possibility something could change for this capsule moving forward, but overall it's still on a very strong path. It's one of the capsules that peaks very high during a hype, and it's something that really hasn't been seeing too much growth or too much value actually added over the past couple of months, and I think that's a very strong possibility inside of this area. Not going to blow up today or tomorrow, but it's a long-term hold that's on a good trajectory. And lastly, quite possibly the most volatile thing I'm going to be investing into is going to be setting aside money for the Shanghai Major. I know what I just said about Copenhagen and how I forgot, but overall Shanghai Major is definitely one that's going to be a very big precedent center. If we're going to get something like the charm, if we're going to get something brand new coming along with it, I'm not going to be buying any souvenir packages. Those are a huge money pit, but I might wait until we see the sale for some Shanghai capsules, might see the sale for some Shanghai patch packs. We don't know what's going to be coming with this, and that's perfect. That's all I got. I want to thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.